Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, Episode 4. So last time, we had Ilulu kind of just really joining in on our found family here. We had Shota being surprisingly competitive in Monopoly. And just kind of friendships being formed. Between our child characters. Getting to see Kana and Saikawa befriend Ilulu, even though Ilulu's not actually a child, she's Tohru's age. Just her petite size allows her to connect with them more, especially because of her past and just wanting to make friends after what happened to her and what happened to her relationship with the friends she did have back in the human world. We also got to see Kobayashi dress up in Tohru's Maid costume, and it was really cute. We also got to see just other kind of Maid costume ideas from the other characters, and I still really like Luca's idea. But I'm excited to see where we go next. So far, to my knowledge, there isn't a set amount of episodes for this season. Like last season, I believe was 12 or 13, but I don't think an actual episode count has been named for this season yet. So at least I couldn't find anything if it has. So I have no idea if it's going to be the same amount or if it's going to be longer. I'm thinking it'll probably be the same amount because, again, remember, this is KyoAni's first series back. And while they have other stuff in the works, in planning, they probably want to just starting off coming back from everything that happened with the arson and all on more of a lighter scale, just kind of not push themselves too hard and everything, which is completely fair and completely understandable. So I can imagine this also just being like 13 episodes or so, which I would be completely fine with. Honestly, with this kind of series, I think that's about right. It's not like My Hero, which can definitely benefit from having more of like a 24 to 26 episode season or something. Actually, I think it's 25, right in the middle of that. Point still stands, though. So yeah, we don't know for sure, but we'll find out, and we'll just keep going with the reactions as we go along. But that all being said, I'm excited. Because now that Ilulu has joined the family and everything, I'm really excited to see more of her dynamic with these different characters as it grows and develops. And again, there's still this human character that Ilulu is shown dancing with in the opening. So I'm wondering if she's going to end up going to stay with him at some point. We don't know who this is yet. We have no real information other than just seeing him in the opening dancing with Ilulu. So we'll have to see. But we've also seen another dragon from the Harmony faction in this season. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring more of that into play and if we're going to see a bunch of more dragons, maybe. Not necessarily characters like for our family and friend group of Kobayashi and all, but more so enemy dragons. If they're actually going to go heavier into that kind of stuff. I don't know, because honestly, I don't know where any of this goes in the manga, because I've never read the manga. But I'm very interested to see where this goes. I wouldn't mind at all if it took a more intense route in that regard, and had a lot more action and a lot more enemy interference. I think that could be pretty interesting and give a new dynamic to the show that would honestly feel kind of refreshing. Not that what we do get normally is bad, not by any means. But there's so many different scenarios that they could still do with these characters, and with just the idea and concept of this series. So either way, I think they'll be good to just handle it all. The creator of the manga probably had plenty of ideas, so I'm excited. I am excited. Um, oh, also, I found out recently that apparently Peach Boy Riverside, which I did a first impressions of on this channel, a first impressions review, apparently it's from the same creator as Kobayashi. And there's also this other series that's airing this season that's from the same creator as well. They're by different anime studios and everything, but the original work is from the same creator. And I think that's really interesting. It's like maybe that's why I got so into Peach Boy Riverside right off the bat. I really do need to continue that because they're like 4 or 5 episodes out, and I've still only seen the first one. But it's like maybe that's why I like connected with it, and I thought Frau was so cute at first. Maybe it's just this is just what the author is good at. But I'm definitely interested to see what else happens in that too. But I just found that interesting because I saw that posted on I think it was Twitter recently. I think that's really interesting that the season has 3 anime adaptations of works from the same creator. Um, and that it's the creator of Dragon Maid too, which is such a big popular series. So yeah. Anyways, we're just gonna get this started. Hope for the best. See where episode 4 has to take us. So when the screen fades black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after fades black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. A very enjoyable episode. A lot of fun stuff happened. So Tohru went with Miss Sasakabe, I think it was. If I got that wrong, sorry. It's just I think that's her name. She's not been a major character. She's pretty minor, all things considered. So I'm not 100%. But they go on neighborhood patrol, and Tohru ends up coming across with her these thugs just loitering. They get into a little bit of a fight. She takes out what seems to be their leader pretty easily, and they go on their way. Eventually, they are confronted. Well, before that, she and Miss Sasakabe end up meeting up with Elma at the shopping center. And Elma ends up taking her place and going with Tohru instead after like seeing it as Tohru taking an interest in Harmony faction kind of stuff. And so they go along, and then they're confronted by just this entire massive group of them after they meet up with Fafnir, who has been practicing some dance choreography and everything. We see Tohru take care of like the strongest delinquent in the area, and after that point they kind of all just like respect her and see her as the new strongest delinquent. It's kind of funny, kind of ridiculous. We also have within this episode, going back to Fafnir real quick, we have a segment in which when we're seeing Fafnir dancing and all, he talks to them and everything, and he is coming to terms with the fact that he is starting to change a lot in this world too, especially with his connection with Takia. We see him at a cafe in Akiba with Takia, where they are, where they're just enjoying things and trying to collect all the coasters, all the commemorative coasters. It's really fun, and it's cool to see how much Fafnir is legitimately changing. I mean, in season 1, we already did hear him like acknowledge how much he has grown to like Takia. So, We also have a segment that was actually the first segment of this, where Kobayashi and Elma are competing because Kobayashi's been taking on all of Elma's work, but she's starting to get better at stuff. And when Kobayashi mentions that, or when Takia rather mentions that Kobayashi's become a pillar of this office, Alma gets concerned and tries to compete with her to see who can take on the most work and everything. Because in the dragon world, becoming a pillar has a different meaning. It's in reference to self sacrifice that Elma really does not agree with and really upsets her. So she was worried that that is what was going on, that Kobayashi was sacrificing herself for the sake of others. And while, like, when we typically think of that thing, we think of it as very positive, like self sacrifice, like sacrificing your time, energy to help others is a good thing. But in their world, it literally means death. It means literal human sacrifice. So it's like she doesn't like to see that. And so she's trying to take away some of that kind of pressure off of Kobayashi and help her. But it's all a misunderstanding. They managed to work through it. It's a really nice segment. And honestly, I would say this is my favorite Elma segment of the entire show so far, in both seasons. I really like just the amount of depth they gave to Elma in it, and the amount of genuine concern that she showed towards Kobayashi. Um, it just, I really liked it. And it was really nice, really cute, really fun, and I just really liked what they did with her character in it. Um, we also have the final segment, which is our group heading to an amusement park. So Kana and Ilulu see an advertisement for an amusement park on television and ask to go. Kobayashi says she doesn't see what others see in it because, as we find out, she's never been. But when Tohru offers to take them instead, Kobayashi gets kind of a little jealous and agrees to go. While there, they end up seeing that Georgie is helping work there, and everyone just kind of does their own thing. Ilulu, Kana, and Saikawa go off on their own to have some fun, go on rides and stuff, while Kobayashi and Tohru do their own things. And everybody's enjoying, everyone's having a fun time. Georgie ends up leading Kobayashi and Tohru to this really good Maid cafe that Kobayashi just completely loses her mind over. It's really fun. But yeah, overall, I really like what they did with this episode. It just had a lot of good development for these characters, especially Elma. A lot of good just moments of them kind of connecting. We also learned from Tohru that apparently her and Elma used to do these competitions and stuff all the time in their world. That they would just hang out and compete over various things, just random various things. And it's really interesting because that kind of makes me think about the opening, because the opening shows what appears to be Elma and Tohru in the dragon world. And some people have theorized that it could be from the past. So maybe, although they're from different factions and although they claim not to like each other too much, maybe Tohru and Elma really do actually have a respect and admiration for each other, and maybe they do actually want to be friends. And they've just not known how because of their differences and everything. Maybe that's going to be an ongoing thing for this season. I would love that, honestly. I think that would be a fantastic idea. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.